Welcome to Confessions of Being Fabulous, where we live, we learn, we grow. So this is actually an introductory video. I'm gonna do an interview with Miss Judith from a store called Rock Collage in Teaneck, New Jersey. And I just wanted to show, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see that. It's the word believe. This is the word faith. This is the word love. And I also purchased a topaz stone from there. And topaz, one of the things I believe it's known for is creativity. Creativity, awareness, and manifestation. So just wanted to do this quick intro video. We're gonna talk about how she balances business, how she balances her babies, and then we're going to talk about, is balance a real thing? And you can wait to see what she has to say. So this is just some of the stuff that I purchased from the store, and I wanted to show it before I actually show the interview. To say that I often feel connected to having physical representations of things around my home. It can be something as simple as like these rocks. I have a candle over here that I actually created at the top of the year. The candle is called Wealth Builder. I named it during a candle creating event, Confessions of Being Fabulous event actually, and other little things. So I just like the idea of having a physical representation of something that is important to you. And I am not a proponent of worshiping such rocks. I believe in Jesus Christ, so I worship him. But I am a proponent of having physical representations on your person, around your house, or whatever, that just either make you feel good, maybe make you, remember something. It might make you remember a scripture. This one, faith. When I look at this one, there are scriptures in the Bible about faith. There are concepts without faith, it is impossible to please God, as an example, that are relevant. And so when I look at this, that's a reminder of that. So the interview is not going to be all about the different types of stones, but I just wanted to introduce the idea of, having physical representations around you. If it's something that is really happening in your life that's of extreme importance, having that thing to kind of get you through, whether it's just looking at it, similar to when you write affirmations and put them on your wall. These are items that I feel can accomplish the same thing sometimes. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna jump into the interview. Bye, hope you enjoy. Welcome to Confessions of Being Fabulous, where we live, we learn, we grow. Today, we have a special topic for you. We're gonna talk all about business, babies, and balance with our special guest, Judith. Is balance a real thing, Judith? No.
It's somewhat of survival mode.
Yeah, got it. All right, well, we're gonna get into it with Miss Judith. Before we jump in though, can you just briefly introduce yourself? Tell us about this amazing, I'm really excited about where we are, but I'll let her introduce us, her store. I'll let her introduce herself and tell us about the name of the business and then also the products that are sold here.
Sure, so I'm Judith. I'm the owner of Rock Collage. It's a wellness metaphysical space in Teaneck, New Jersey, where I sell crystals, jewelry, books, metaphysical products. We just relocated from a small space to a bigger retail space where we are right now. We have expanded to offer yoga services. We have a licensed social worker here that does amazing community work. There's also a salt room here. We do sound healing, lots of meditations, a lot of group activities, a lot of like artistic ventures so that people can kind of like relax their mental health and really like advocate for being healthier and happier.
I mean, if that doesn't make you want to come like right this second, no. But I'm really excited about being here. We were introduced. Well, we actually are part of an organization, and we met at an event. And I'm like, I'm gonna come to your spot, check it out. And the minute I walked in, like it just like you feel the magic. It feels beautiful. It feels amazing. I brought a few pieces for my home actually. Which I ended up choosing to put it by my bedside because initially I had this whole thing about, oh, the living room, here, there. And then like I got home and they won't leave my bedside. So I'm like, that must be a sign, like, because I won't take them from the bedside to where they're supposed to be, where I intended for them to be. So I'm like, I think I want it by my bedside. I got these like inspirational rocks and this other, was it a topaz crystal?
Yes.
Topaz crystal, and so I'm really excited. I'm a big believer in having physical things in your space that can represent something that's important to you. So if you're trying to, if you've been praying to God for healing, you know what I mean, then to me, I would want to have something by my bedside, in my space, in my living room that represents healing to me every time I look at it. So when I walked in here, it just reminded me of all of the physical possibilities, for our homes and our spaces and even our bags, frankly. Oh, yeah. We talked about people who put crystals in their bag. All of that is a beautiful thing. But let's jump in. Business, babies, and balance. So let's start off with business. Obviously, you are a business owner. How long have you been in business with Rock Collage?
About 10 years.
Okay, so you've been in business for 10 years. And how old are your little ones?
I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Woo! I didn't realize to this moment that they're that young. For some reason, I'm thinking that they were closer to my sons. Oh, so you in the trenches. We about to have this conversation, y'all, because she's in the trenches.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
This whole conversation is about to go in a different direction then, because you're still in that, like, infant phase. Fix it, Jesus. Okay, where do I start? So... Let's talk about the business. So you've been doing this particular business, Rock Collage, for 10 years. When you started out, did you start out knowing you would one day have a family, or did the family just kind of happen? Or, because some people are intentional and I know I have a friend, she had it all mapped out, by 26, I'm going to do this by 27. I'm that way a little bit, if I'm being honest, but what was your experience with respect to like the family dynamic coming into the picture?
Family was definitely part of the picture.
Okay.
When that would happen, that wasn't planned.
Okay.
But I'm beyond happy that I have both of them.
Okay.
People keep saying like, yo, you should shoot for the third. And I'm like, oh, you don't see my
about
account.
that.
Yeah. But I knew I wanted children. And there was one particular time in my old location where this woman came in with her daughter, and I literally said, ooh, I want one, as if it was something that you just pick out
from the store.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
From a metaphysical store.
Right. And lo and behold, literally a few months later, I was pregnant with my first child, and I was like, oh, you gotta be careful what you say.
Listen, when you put it out there.
I knew, but I never planned.
Okay.
So
got you.
Then when I said it, it just manifested itself into reality.
Absolutely, because you said it. You caused the whole thing. Got it. Okay, so with that, you are, in business for 10 years. You become a mom. How did your business, if at all, kind of change in terms of the way that you operated? Like, are you a different operator as a mom, versus before becoming a mom? You conducted the business a certain way?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what that shift looks like.
So before I had children, I was 7 days a week from 11 to 7. Now, since having children, I am 6 days a week, 12 to 6.
Okay.
So, and it's not 6 days a week open with me physically always having to be here. It kind of taught me that I can't do this all alone.
Yeah.
I do need to have like support and other people here. But I also close when I feel like it because, children come first. So and I'll send an email or notification on social media for those who actually like pay attention to know that I won't be available or around, and they don't mind.
And so with that, I like what you just said about if you have to, you'll close because children come first. So I have this kind of unspoken way of operating within my firm. So not Confessions of Being Fabulous, this is separate. In my day job, I'm an attorney and I practice law and I do transactional work for business owners like yourself. But come Monday, because of the weekend and the way that it's set up, I'm really just mentally drained. Like it's beyond, because nobody likes a Monday, right? You know, like that's why you always see memes about it. But there's something about our weekends, because I'm a mom and because my son is, sometimes I feel like a chauffeur. Like I'm just taking him where he needs to be. So my unspoken rule is that I'm off on Mondays, but I'm not. So it's kind of like if I'm put in a position to have to schedule a meeting, as an example, I'm not offering you Monday morning at 8 a.m. I would never do that. Now, if I'm forced because of the different circumstances and it's urgent enough, you know, whatever. But that's my way of kind of like saying I need to decompress from the fact that this weekend has happened. Or even if, you know, my son was sick or whatever. Something about Mondays, like I need that day so that mommy can recoup. Do you have a day like that where you feel like this day, or even if it's not the full day, like a portion? Because for me, I don't often get the benefit of the full day, but I'll say to myself, okay, the first meeting won't be until 12 noon or something like that. Do you?
Yes, I have a Tuesday because everyone takes Monday. And I don't want to trump on, I don't like doing what everyone else does.
Yeah.
So I take an odd day, which is a Tuesday. I find it to be easier. So I'll go to all day spa or I'll just do nothing at home and just like relax until I have to go run and get the kids or whatever. But Tuesdays are my days. So and everyone knows, like the staff and everything, like they know, like don't bother her on Tuesday.
Got it. Okay, so you actually put it out there, like I'm not available this day. You don't leave it to chance or I feel like I should probably make it a real thing. I just sometimes I feel like I don't have the luxury to do that right now in this season. And so I'm kind of like, to just go completely off the grid on a Monday, like I would have to know business-wise things are being handled, and on my end I can acknowledge there's some things I'm still handling it. So because of that, if I'm gone, you know, but I'm
not totally like disconnected from like work. If people needed me, they know to just text, just kind of like temperature check. Make sure like, hey, are you available for this question? And I'm like, sure, what's up? I'm not completely like,
not completely removed. Got it. Okay. And then let's talk a little bit about, because we're still in business, so let's talk a bit about your customers. I hear you talk a lot about your customers kind of knowing your schedule, they know your availability. It sounds like even when the store is closed, they're able to reach you. Was that an intentional thing when you became a mom? Like you wanted them to have a way to kind of reach you outside of the store? Or did that kind of just happen? Or was it always like that in your business?
A little bit of both. It got more organized and structured when I had the children. Because before I was like, okay, whatever, just, you know. But now it's like, no, this is how it has to happen. This is,
Got it. And I asked that because I used to struggle with, so when my son, he's 7 now, but when he was closer to like, maybe 3, I really just was in a space where I didn't want people to text. I kind of just wanted things to be in the most professional manner possible, because if you text me, and maybe I granted that at a certain season, in this season, I don't want to have to look at your text, and then at the same time, on the same phone, I might be looking at a text from a babysitter, or you know what I mean? I might be looking up instructions for this, I don't know, gadget that I just bought him and I need to put together. So I started to feel like my personal space and my personal items like a phone were even more sacred. than they had ever been before. So but I admire that, you know, you would you would allow that kind of access, because it feels like if you grant your customers that, and now it's this more kind of personal relationship that the two of you have, that can make for, you know what I mean, a long-lasting relationship, a better relationship, and just customers that are going to stick around, you know, because they feel like they know you, you're accessible, you know, so I admire that. All right, let's talk a little bit about, so that is business. Let's talk about the baby specifically. So you're still in kind of like that infant phase. Do you have days where you just, I already know the answer to this, but I'm just like, I gotta ask it. Do you have days where you just want to rip your hair out because of, you know, just how much it is? Tell me about kind of like your mom life as it relates to your day. I know we talked about, we both have a whole, like, I call it the 2 o'clock hour scaries.
Oh my God.
The 2 o'clock hour scaries. But walk us through some of those, you know, like morning to night, like your interaction with the babies. Like, what does that look like? Obviously, with you having to come here, but you know, your interaction with them. What does that look like for you?
Sure, I'll give you like a quick little rundown. So from like 6 o'clock to 6:30, I'm planning my posts for Instagram.
Okay.
Or whatever social media. Then from 6:30 to 7:15, I'm packing up their bags. I'm making sure their outfits are out and all of that fun stuff. From 7:15 to 7:30, I have to make sure that we're getting ready to leave. I have 2 locations to drop off. So first location, the oldest, he's dropped off. He has to be in the building or at least close to the building before 8 o'clock. And the parents there and traffic is just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I have to make sure I lock the second one in the car and whatever. Then from there, from 8 o'clock to 8:15, I'm dropping off the second child. And this one, the first one, I only get to drop off at the front of the building, whereas the second one I have to bring him all the way into his classroom because he's smaller. So I kind of get that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
right, you can't just put the like, all right, he's over there.
Yep. So
he's on the curve.
Yep. So from there, I either have a conversation with one of the teachers, or, you know, I just let them know he's good for the day or he's good for the morning. Either feed him or don't feed him, and then I'm out. From 8:15 to 8:30, I guess I'm at least coming home to at least decompress a little bit. Make myself a quick breakfast. Then I'm out the door to do some type of errand for either the house and or the store. I get here around 10-ish to kind of like clean, because it's a lot of space. So I have to clean the floor, I have to clean downstairs, I have to water the plants. I've got fish here, so I've got to feed the fish. Then I've got to feed the fish. I've got to feed the fish, so I'm a mommy. Oh no, you know. Then I have to start doing work, and then either maintain the inventory or like get back to emails or whatever, because there's 2 parts of my brain in the business. There's the admin aspect, and then there's the physical, you know, material aspect. So both sides are like simultaneously working. Then I'm also in a book club, so I'm trying to like catch up on that, and I'm also in school, so I have to maintain on that. Then as soon as it hits 1:45, if there's a customer in here, I have to kind of like speed them up and be like, hey, I gotta be out by 1:50, because my oldest, he gets out of school at 2:15, so the time it gets from here to his school, it's about 20 minutes, so I have to book it to get him. Then drop him off to the other school where his youngest brother is.
2 o'clock scaries.
The 2 o'clock scaries. So from there, I drop him off, and then I'm rushing back to get here, and that's a full hour. It's a full hour from leaving
to get
here,
there, pick him up, drop him,
and then come back. It's a full hour. So like, that's an hour taken away from the business, but an hour.
Y'all noticed the breath she just took, right? She had to take a whole breath. She had to take a whole breath, and she's not done. Continue.
I'm not. It's an hour. So that hour is taken away, you know, logistically from my business, but it's given to my child. And in that bonding time from picking him up to dropping him off to the other school, we're kind of like talking, seeing how his day was, making sure he's like fed and if he needs a nap or whatever. Then on my rush back here, I'm listening to my ebook because I have to catch up.
You gotta listen to the ebook.
And then I get here, make sure I continue work by 6 o'clock. 6:15, I'm winding down from here. If there's customers still coming in, then you know, I assist them. Then I leave for home, prepare dinner, which takes between 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And no, my children do not go to sleep by 9. They're in bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but it's a whole circus.
Yeah.
And then we wake up and do it all over again the next day. But sometimes the youngest one, he likes to come into my bed.
Right.
And he's either up between, like this morning, he was up from 3 o'clock to 6:15. And I'm like, bro, that's my time to sleep. Did you hear my beginning from like 6 to 6:30? I like to plan my posts.
Yeah.
So if I don't post on social media,
it's because he came in,
or he's up, or where,
and he just stole everything away.
So yeah, so like consistency and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to like, you know, and that's every day.
Wow.
But
And
I love
so you said because you are open 6 days a week, so Saturday obviously you don't have to
do all that. No.
Okay. But you still have to come here, and then now you don't have to do the whole 2 o'clock break.
No.
But you're still here until like 6, 7, something like that, and then you head home. Okay.
On Saturdays, the weekends, I do get up because my oldest loves to eat scrambled eggs or pancakes or waffles, and he likes them from scratch. He doesn't like the store-bought stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's bougie. So
No, listen, that's how it should be. I confess he would not like my breakfast because we gonna pop a waffle in the toaster. We going.
They both like homemade fresh stuff, so I have to like. I'm not slaving, but I'm like making everything,
from
and
scratch.
they appreciate that more. They inhale it, and then as I'm trying to leave to come here, they're like both like stuck to my legs.
Don't go,
yeah.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, "Oh, you want to take one with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, no. See all these precious things?
Yeah.
They would be."
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so where do we start with the questions? I mean, but you know, there's no question necessary. You guys get it. Like, it's a lot. So I wanted to jump into the babies part just so you can hear. And I'm sure if you're a mom watching this, a lot of what she just said, you're like, oh, we the same. Like, that's my day. And that's the craziness of it. I remember this was because we're in Teaneck now, but there was a time period. I was living in New York for like 10 years. When I had my son, I moved back to South Jersey, the part that I grew up in, about 2 hours from Teaneck, and I'm like, I need to be around my family. So I'm living there, and long story short, there was a season of maybe 6 months where I had built my life in New York. So even though I'm a Jersey girl, my life was in New York. So that includes clients, that includes the way that I get paid, you know, different things that I needed to do if I was maybe, you know, looking for extra legal work. It was all in New York. So at that time, I had not, you know, figured out ways to make it work down there. So I was leaving South Jersey, coming to New York, which meant my day started at 3:45 a.m. So I had to wake up at 3:45 a.m., get myself ready. I think at that time, Nolan was like maybe between 2 and 3. Get myself ready. Take him to my mom. Thank God for her at the time. She was willing to, you know, help out. He had to be to her, I think by like 5:15 or something like that. She would hold on to him and take him to my grandmother. Rest in peace. She's deceased now, but at the time I call her the original babysitter. So she would have him until like 5 o'clock at night. But meanwhile, you know, I drop him off at 5:15. I now have to get on the road on the Garden State Parkway to head to New York. So I'm you know, trying to get there as quickly as possible, going through traffic, whatever. I'm spending a full, you know, if not 8 hours, close to 8-hour day there. And then I'm coming back, I'm getting my son. Oftentimes it definitely was not 5 o'clock on the dot. It probably was more like 6, you know what I mean? But because it's my grandmother, you know, she didn't put me on like a strict. but I could walk in and I could see that she would be tired because she's grandma, you know. But these are the things that women and fathers too, but we're talking about women right now, oftentimes are in seasons where we just have to figure it out. And we end up literally giving our souls because we have to. So in that season, you know, I had to do what I had to do because I needed to continue to work. I didn't have information about, you know, how to do some of the things I used to do in New York, how to do it in Jersey. And then I'm also licensed. This year I'll be licensed in both states, but at the time I was only licensed in New York. And, you know, I wasn't looking to necessarily be licensed in Jersey because I just didn't have a lot of business stuff happening. And I was tired. I was tired, but some kind of way, like, I made it work. So I appreciate you going through that, because I think that the reason I wanted you to, and the reason I think it's important for us to be mindful, is because if you're gonna do business with a mom, if you're gonna do business with a parent, I should say, let me not completely throw the fellas under the bus. If you're gonna do business with a parent, I do feel like you need to be prepared to have a certain level of grace. What are your thoughts on grace and how that plays a role, if you feel like it plays a role at all in business?
I find the core of every business, no matter what business you're in, there is a level of customer service that has to be like upheld.
Yes.
Right? But on the other side, I feel like consumers need to also give grace to the business as well, no matter what, whether you're a parent or not, because respect is given both ways.
Yes.
And I understand, you know, the customer should always be right technically, but let's say, for example, and this is not my example, I've been to other businesses where it was a parent or it was a family-run business or whatever, and they go the extra mile to make sure that you're okay. Yeah. Whereas corporate, you know, businesses, they could care less. They could truly, like,
they're just a number.
Yep, yeah. They're just literally a number. So I feel like supporting the small businesses, supporting the family-run businesses, that kind of gives more back to the economy, because they also provide back to everyone else. They're thinking of community. So if there's a parent or, you know, any parent in business, give them time, because they literally went into business to help support the community. Yeah. And, you know.
Yeah. And I think that, to me, I think grace can be displayed in small ways. So, for example, one request I made probably just like a year ago of some of my clients who, you know, it's tricky because you have clients that maybe you met, you know, at a networking function or whatever, like there's no history there. But then you have clients who became clients, but they were friends first. And so I had some of those. We were friends first. We have history. One of them, we went to high school together. Another one, we didn't go to high school together, but when I moved to New York after law school, you know, we became friends. And so we have this long history, which obviously means they have my cell phone number. They have my cell phone number. I think they know where I live. Well, I moved, so they haven't been to where I'm at, but, you know, I would give them my address. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, issue there in terms of privacy. Like, they could have that information. But what was happening was we would be texting each other about something personal, and then now it's mixing in, like, oh, you know, status check on. And I had to finally say something because it was bothering me, but not because I minded that they wanted that update. It's just like, I need to be able to use that part of my brain when it's time to use that part of my brain, one. And then two, I don't want to forget that you have this status update. And if it's just kind of embedded in this very, you know, ha text that we've had going on, this text chain, it's possible that I might forget. So I basically asked, now one of them still don't listen. I'm not going to call you out, but if you see this video, you know who you are, because you still be hitting me on my cell phone, and I told you to stop. But the other ones are obedient, and they now email me. So they'll basically via email, they'll say whatever they need to say, like, hey, just wanted to get an update on X, Y, and Z and see where things are in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at most, I make it a text saying, hey, check your email. Okay, that's cool. But to me, grace is you honoring the fact that I'm asking in the first place, and don't take it as me like trying to not service you, or me trying to even be standoffish, or even trying to change the intimacy that we have. But there are reasons, a large and part one for me is because I'm a mom. I just kind of need things to be structured a certain way, right? And so to the extent that you allow me to have that structure, I can now be better for you. This business can be better for you. Hawks Law Group, Confessions of Being Fabulous, all of it can be better for you, because you've allowed me to operate. I need to operate.
I 1,000% agree with that, because like my consumers do not have my phone number. Okay. They only have, so the store phone connects. The store phone does connect to my cell phone because there's an app, so I can I'll see where the differences are. Yeah. But I do get DMs, and sometimes social media. So I have like lists, and I'm so grateful that you can kind of like categorize who on Instagram. Primary and general. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I usually, like, if you're a long-term customer, you're in primary. Got it. If you're a nagging customer or someone that's not like consistent, you're in general. Right. So I'll get alerts for both, but it alerts me in a way that you can take your time. Yeah. For this person. I like that. And I also feel like that's fair, right? Because the whole idea of customer service, on the one hand, I agree there's a bare minimum, like, okay, one size fits everyone. You are a customer, so therefore, bare minimum, we're talking respect, we're talking tending to your needs if you're in the store. How about a smile? Because sometimes you might walk in a store and, you weren't in a bad mood when you got there, but now when you look at the person at the register, it's just different. So to me, those are like bare minimum things. But then I do agree with you. If you have a long-standing customer, and now this goes back to something I said a moment ago, the customer I spoke of who keeps texting me, I allow that because we've known each other for a long time. You see what I'm saying? And not just friendship-wise. He's been a client of mine for a long time. We actually weren't friends. He literally he met me at a speaking engagement. He hired me right away. He's always paid me. He's never like haggled me on price. So that's the only reason I'm kind of like, okay, you're not following the rules, but that's the grace that I'm now giving him. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of goes both ways, and I think grace looks different, and I think customer service does look a little bit different for those clients that have kind of like, hung in there with you. And it's not always been, rosy. He and we've had disagreements. Just because he's a client, that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that he says, and vice versa. He may not agree with a way that maybe I handled a transaction or whatever. But if a client is still with you after you've gone through all of those things, to me, that's special. Yeah. That's special, and so they deserve to be treated special. So if you're watching this, client that I was talking about in the last segment, I also appreciate who you are, which is why you get the grace that you get. But as we're wrapping up, let's talk a little bit about balance. You already answered earlier, kind of, sort of, like, it's not really a real thing, but to the extent that we can create, this world of balance as we are moms, we have businesses. You said you're in school. You also dare to be in organizations where they have you reading books outside of whatever you might need to do for school. So what does balance look like realistically as you are attempting it? Because I'm assuming there's at least an attempt, right? And then what does it look like if you could, like, the I dream of Genie, you could blink your eyes and then balance could just appear, what would it look like then? So tell us a bit about what it looks like now, and then what would be kind of like her ideal version of balance. My current balance is survival mode, just doing everything.
Okay.
But my ideal goal for balance is definitely bringing on more help here in the store. I saw this funny TikTok where this man was dropping off a package, and he dropped it off with this woman, and the woman was like, "I'm the house manager." And he walked away, and he was like, "What the hell is a house manager?
Right. What is that?"
Like, and he was like, "Wait, does that mean this house, the person who owns this house, has money?"
Right.
But I thought about it. I'm like, I don't think that's what it is. Yes, having money does help. You know, you might have your personal chef, you might have whatever. Yeah. But like a house manager, to have someone that can kind of come in, you know, make sure everything's organized and structured, because it's impossible to, in my stage of parenting, right? The season of parenting, where I'm, you know, figuring it all out and making sure this is happening, whatever. My house is like a toilet. Like there's everything everywhere.
She said a toilet. I thought you were going to use another word.
It's a toyland. There's
toys.
Toyland. No, toyland. Yeah. There is like toys everywhere. There's toys in the kitchen, living room, bathroom, their room, my room, everywhere.
I thought you said toilet.
No.
It's just like, what does this mean?
No.
A toilet. Yeah, of course. They're 1 and 3. That makes sense.
It's everywhere. So like just having someone to come in maybe once a week, just reorganize and like make sure certain things are, you know, structured. Same thing for the business, like just that assistance. And I feel like a lot of moms and in business don't really delegate, and I already made that realization. Like I already know this. I'm in school for psychology, so we have to, because we're not superwomen, and I don't want that title. I want to be just enough to like make sure my kids are good, make sure the business is good, you know. I don't want to be like over exceeding, because everyone on a pedestal always gets knocked down.
But it's so, as you were speaking, you know, it just popped in my head. So you just said, I don't want to be a superwoman. I want to be just enough. So when she said superwoman, what came in my mind was the t-shirts, like the superwoman t-shirts. And then when you said, I want to be just enough, I replaced it with a t-shirt that said just enough. And I'm like, that's okay too. Like I could be just enough. I could be just enough and still be just as effective. Right?
That's where I'm getting at. So like,
I'm changing my t-shirt. I'm taking the Superwoman t-shirt out. I don't want it anymore.
We don't need
it's trash.
It's a badge of honor that comes with little to no respect most times. Being a mom is a third job. No matter what you're doing. Married, not married, dating, everything is a job. And you have so many hats to put on. You know, being able to delegate is like the biggest thing. That means like you're trusting that it's going to like, you know, move forward, it's gonna be okay. And I'm in that phase right now. I'm in that season, right? I'm in the season of trusting that everything's gonna be okay. I can be the best mom that I can be without having to overdo it. Like overdoing it definitely affects everything. And my favorite book, mind you, I say I love books, right? Is the 5-Hour Work Week.
The 5-hour work.
The 5-hour work week. I forgot.
Wait, different from the 4-hour work? Or is it?
It's the 5-hour work week.
Who's it by?
I forgot his name, but it's a really good book. And
wait, Tim Ferriss?
Yes.
4-hour work week.
Oh, 4-hour work week.
Because I'm just like, there's another one? No, because I know. So wait, unless I'm wrong, but I think we know it's Tim Ferriss. So it's either 4 or 5 hours.
It's one of those.
It's one of the two. But no, totally love his book.
There's a quote in there that says, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that stuck with me for a very long time, because if you're running ragged in your home life, then you're running ragged in business. If you're
I used to fight that statement, but it's true. It's true. It took me a long time to really like acknowledge it, because I wanted to believe that no, I only do that over there. And maybe I intend to, but
it's everywhere.
It shows up elsewhere. So I had to relook it, and I've not perfected certain things yet, but I have a philosophy on lateness. I'm having to like rework what that means, because the truth is, there are certain places I go, I don't have a desire to be on time. I just don't. Like if there's a cookout, if there's I don't know, even certain parties that are more like home parties, or not something at an event at a venue, but I don't care. But what you just said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And then I was thinking probably about a year ago, like, I wonder if me not caring with respect to those types of places is now potentially trickling into other areas where I do care without me even realizing it. You know what I mean? So I'm having to revisit. I'm still not on time to cookouts as of this recording, but but I'm working on changing my philosophy around that. As we wrap up, what are some words of advice you can give to, I'll say, parents? Naturally, this channel, more so moms are looking at this, but we can say parents just in case we have the dad who's also tuning in. How can they, I guess, kind of get the courage to become better at delegating? Because I also think it's a courage thing. It's kind of like, nobody can do this like me, or nobody can feed the baby food the way I can feed it. Nobody knows. And we're not wrong, but in the end, we're one person.
Yeah. And
so,
one can't do.
Yeah.
My favorite, I love quotes. So Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, it
so
wasn't.
You need a team. You need the help and support. And if the help and support isn't what you always trust, be open to receive, because you never know unless you try. Building that core foundation, understanding, communicating with your children too, like that's huge, that's major. And like creating your own secret language with them is great too. Like they'll know how to communicate with you and only you, so they don't give that off to other people. So there's a lot of things.
I like that. Okay.
There's a lot, so you can make it your own. Don't follow. No one knows the secret to parenting. There's no such thing. There's no way.
Please say that again. No one knows the secret to parenting.
Throw away all the parenting books. You're gonna learn on the job.
Or even the people, forget the books. Like for me, it's the person that just knows. Like, yeah, because of how many kids they had or whatever. Just, to me, we're all kind of learning on the fly. It doesn't mean that we can't learn anything from each other or from our parents, but ultimately, like, things are happening as we're living life, as our kids are growing, and so we have to make like split decisions oftentimes, and it doesn't mean it's going to be the exact same decision that our parents would have made, and I think that's okay. Right?
Well, it's also different times too.
It's also different times, that part. That part. Well, this has been a wonderful, wonderful interaction. I felt like it was appropriate to have a conversation about business, balance, babies. So many of us are looking for this. We're looking for balance, and we're trying to figure it out. I love that you went through the timeline. When she went through the timeline of her day, it was really just a reminder also to put, a more positive spin on this episode, because I don't want this to feel, I hope it didn't come off as a doom and gloom episode, but I am proud to see what she's doing. It lets me know it's possible. So she might be tired at the end of the day, yet here we are in this, if you remember, expanded edition of her business, because they were in another location and now they're here. So that means that through it all, you have been growing. You are doing the things that you need to do to reach the customers or potential customers that you want to reach. And that's a beautiful thing. So balance, I still don't know if I believe it's a real thing, but can we do it all? I know that that's a real thing, and Judith is a testament to that. So thank you so much, Judith, for being with us on today. Thank you all for tuning in, and come back for the next episode. I wish you lots of fun, laughter, abundance in your life. Peace.